Alright, hey guys, Pax, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. In this video, we're going to be going over Magnezone Oricorio, a very meta-dominating pairing. You've probably seen this deck in tournaments as well as in PvP battle. This deck is also the best non-EX deck in the meta, and if you're a new player, I highly consider investing into this deck because a lot of these cards you'll be using in other decks to come. So, I mean, for one thing, just looking at my hand, Oricorio, enough said, this guy is a Nightmare Bird. Very meta prominent. Giant Cape, amazing paired with Oricorio as well as other Pokemon. If this is your first video on my channel, really do consider if you like and subscribe. Really does help me out tremendously, especially as a small-time content creator. And if you are a recurring viewer, I am changing the format for my videos. Usually in the beginning portion, I would go into the decks tab and look at the featured cards. But in this video, we're just gonna get right into the battles. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it. Also, the deck list is in the top left, as you can see. First battle, we are going against the Mega Altaria EX / Indeedee Ex deck. Again, if you guys are new to my deck showcases, first battle isn't really supposed to be that hard, more so just to get the feel for a deck. Perfect, we got a Magnemite, amazing. So next turn we can evolve into Magneton, and then potentially a turn after that into Magnezone. Perfect, look at that. You do love to see this. At this point, might as well Giant Cape or Oricorio. I'm just gonna Giant Cape both of them just in case my opponent does red card or Mars me. Beat Oricorio and end our turn. So this is pretty good. Ideally for this deck, I feel like you should lead with Oricorio because keep in mind, it will take a couple turns to get Magnezone out. And Magnezone itself is very energy sufficient. In other words, can just easily build up just by feeding it one energy. That one energy is optional. Granted, it will take one more turn, but nevertheless, this is amazing because look at this. Into active, just attacking just like that. Next turn, we can get Magnezone out and just one-shot this Carbink. We got another Magnemite as well. Perfect. So we can just kind of do this. Zap. Not able to kill Carbink because of the attack ability. Opponent also has Indeedee in the bench, supporting Carbink, getting back to full HP. And we got another copy as well. Perfect. So we can just do this. Feed Magneton. Then, of course, use Volt Charge. Sub out of Oricorio into this Magnezone, and I can just one-shot this innocent Carbink. Evolving into the second Magneton, and using Volt Charge yet again. I feel like this is like definitely in the top 5 like most satisfying abilities to use. Volt Charge, just generating that easy energy just like that. Very nice to see. And honestly, at this point, I'm going to copycat as well. Why not? Just to maximize my hand. Got Clamont and Magnezone. So we're set for next turn. We basically have everything we need. All we need now is pretty much a Cyrus or even a PC Lady. So yeah, just one-shotting with Mirror Shot. All right, taking a bit of damage from Mega Altaria. But at this point, look at this. You do love to see this. Feed. Evolve into Magnezone. Feed the second copy of Oricorio. And just attack. And looking at the board, I got 1 point. Opponent has 0. So yeah, this is the cool thing about non-EXs, that you can play this rather chill. So in this scenario, after Magnezone gets knocked out, sub in the other Magnezone. After that, Magnezone gets knocked out, sub in Oricorio. And yeah, it's essentially a win like that. Mirror Shotting. And if you guys are curious how the attack ability works, if you guys don't know. So I just attacked right now. There's a condition right here on Mega Altaria. So when Mega Altaria attacks right here, has to do a coin flip. If they get tails, the attack does nothing. Of course, my opponent does get heads, because why not? But we are at an insane lead. That doesn't really matter that much. Perfect, we got PC Lady as well. Kind of scaring me because looking at Girachi does 30 damage. Using PC Lady will make it so that Oricorio will not get one-shotted. So yeah, as you can see, this Magnezone has a bit of RNG, especially with the attack ability, but can definitely win in the game. If your opponent gets tails, that one turn could determine if you're going to win or lose. It's happened before. I think in my previous deck showcase, it happened to me as well towards the end. So yeah, coin flip towards the late game could definitely be your win condition. But one thing to note, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I did knock out the Carbink with my Magnezone. Magnezone's attack ability only applies to the Pokemon that you attacked. In other words, if that Pokemon gets knocked out, the Pokemon that your opponent subs in will not carry that effect. So yeah, just looking at the Discord pal, I knocked out my opponent's Carbink. My opponent's Mega Altaria can attack without the condition. So yeah, just something to note. Just very straightforward attacking. We have 2 more cards. One of them is a Cyrus. The other one is, I think, a red card. Yeah, so we have a 50% chance to win, but nevertheless, I mean, next turn, we can definitely just sub in Oricorio and just one-shot Mega Altaria. My opponent, I don't know if they did, I wasn't really looking. They should have used Indeedee's ability to help this Mega Altaria a little bit, but it doesn't matter, because we do get Cyrus this turn. So yeah, very straightforward, a ton of fun. And then looking at the deck composition, especially towards the late game, let's say I have like 1 or 2 Oricorios out in the late game, and my opponent has all EXs, we're most likely gonna tie. If not tie, then I will win. If you guys ever went on a tie streak, let me know. That sounds freaking abysmal, like spending 30 turns just to tie. I feel like by your 4th tie, you might as well just concede at that point, but yeah. Anyways, let's get right in to PvP. All right, here we are in PvP battle, going second. Not bad of a starting hand, so we got Magnemite. At this point, might as well just Giant Cape Magnemite. I'm going to say this Clemont for next turn, because if you guys don't know, this Clemont card, essentially for this deck, makes it so that you can get your 2 copies of Magneton out from your deck. An amazing supporter card, and essentially a must-run for Magnezone decks, but yeah, I'm going to hold off on that, because my opponent can definitely... I feel like I'm giving them too much knowledge. If I do that this turn, they can definitely red card or Mars, so just to play it a bit cautiously, I'll do it next turn. And then after that, of course, evolving into Magnezone. Opponent Sabrina's. They messed up. I mean, for one thing, Pichu will get more value, but I feel like they should have done it next turn so they could one-shot Magnezone. But yeah, the reason I did Giant Cape, if you guys are curious, is that Magnezone has 150 HP. Plus, Giant Cape will be able to survive a Thunderbolt from this tanned Pikachu. As I mentioned, Clemont. Just like this, getting our 2 Magnetons out, amazing. Evolve, Volt Charge. At this point, might as well just Giant Cape this Oricorio and just end our turn. Next turn, we can definitely just one-shot this Pichu. Opponent Electrical Chords Pichu. Okay, that's kind of weird, but I see what they're doing. They kind of did that, just kind of thin the deck out, then copycatted. Look at that. Zeraora doesn't do anything. Tapu Koko is rather scary, but I believe. Amazing. We got another Oricorio out. Look at this. My opponent can't do much, essentially. I'm just gonna Volt Charge, evolve into Magnezone just to play it safe. Oricorio, fully fed, attacking, one-shotting this innocent Pichu. Opponent subs in Zeraora, doesn't do anything at all. Attacks. Alright, at this point, I'm gonna Copycat, because all we need now is a Cyrus, and we're pretty much set. At this point, easy one-shot onto Zeraora. Just do this, do that. And as I mentioned earlier, because of Giant Cape, Magnezone will be able to survive. As you can see, Magnezone will be able to survive one attack from Pikachu. You got Professor as well, amazing. Hand can definitely be a little bit better, but we can definitely chill like this. So yeah, attack. And look at us, dude. We have 2 points. Opponent has 0. Pikachu is already low. This Magnezone is just a nightmare to go up against. Yeah, concedes. I mean, they could have easily subbed in Tapu Koko, but at that point, I mean, it was kind of a losing battle for them. But yeah, as you can see, this deck, compared to other pure lightning decks, really does stand on a league of its own. Our next battle, going second yet again. This is pretty good. Ideally for this deck, you do want to go second just to maximize energy, especially if you are leading with Oricorio, so that Oricorio can just start attacking. Opponent's using Solosis. Okay, this might be a battle. Yes, that's all I could say. A good battle or a bad battle, only time will tell. Opponent doesn't do anything. Okay. Professor, please give me some good RNG hand. Could be better, but okay. We did get Pokeball, so that's something. Second copy of Magnemite. Very straightforward, just feed. Red card, and attack. Reuniclus is rather scary. We shall see if my opponent can get that out. But it is an interesting comparison nevertheless, because this deck, I'm pretty sure, for the most part, is an OniEx deck. Whereas, except for Indeedee, of course. Indeedee as a support, could also attack and be kind of a menace. This Pokemon gets plus 30 HP for each Psychic Energy attached to it. So, in other words, could be a really tanky, what is this? Multiplying Pokemon. Alright, damn. So, we got Oricorios out. Rather unfortunate, because I feel like you do want to get Magnezones out as fast as possible, but we can definitely chill like this. Why not? Damn, we got Copycat? Oh, gosh, I am tempted to Copycat, because I do want to get one Magneton. Oh, gosh, this feels so weird. I feel like this is one issue for this deck, is that RNG exists. And just like that, I mean, value-wise, we lost all our cards, but we did get a Magneton. And honestly, this Magnemite will die next turn, so I'm just going to sub in. I'm just gonna evolve this guy in the bench. Let's do this. Feed the other Oricorio. And this is all we could do. Yeah, I mean, this deck is good, don't get me wrong. But depending on your RNG, if you don't get the cards that you need, if you can't get out... I think the main issue is to get out Magnezone. And another issue you'll probably run into is that you can't get basics out. Like, I've had battles where, like, I would get Magnemite out, and then 3 turns pass, I have no basics. Like, that's RNG in a nutshell. I mean, granted, there's a lot of cards that help you out. Copycat, Professor's Research, Pokeballs, yeah. But even with that, you will run into, unfortunately, bad RNG. And looking at this, yeah, hopefully we can get a... Perfect, we got Magnezone, just top decking it. You gotta believe in the harder cards, essentially. Opponent, rare candies, of course. Getting their first copy of Gardevoir. I wouldn't be surprised if they get their second copy, but... Gosh, dude, this guy is a tanky beast. Look at that. This is truly the battle of the ages. A tanky beast versus the magnet area Pokemon. Failing the coin flip. So this is really up to RNG at this point. This gotta keep on failing that coin flip, and Reuniclus can't do anything. Perfect. We can get another Magnemite and a movable object versus an unstoppable force. You could debate if Magnezone is truly an unstoppable force, but yeah, so let's just go with that. Here we go. Mirror Shotting. Dude, this guy is insane, man. I probably should make a Reuniclus deck showcase because this deck requires a lot of buildup, but if you, depending if like, yeah, since I got pretty bad RNG, opponent gets a pretty huge lead. Gosh, man. PC Lady. Gosh, that doesn't really do much. I might as well do it now. Feed Oricorio, Mirror Shot. Alright, here we go. So if my opponent can't evolve into Gardevoir, and my opponent fails the coin flip. Oh gosh, Heavy Helmet. Oh no. On the bright side, I mean, you probably won't see this deck in PvP and in rank once it comes back. This is something. This is really... Fails a coin flip, perfect. So we have a chance. This guy is not giving up. And mind you, my opponent has... I have 0 points. So, perfect. We also have Guzma as well. So, gosh, dude. And looking at my opponent's hand, 6 cards. Wouldn't be surprised if they get Gardevoir, their second copy of Gardevoir next turn. I'm done feeding. Because that Indeedee is rather scary. But honestly, I mean, I can keep on feeding these guys. Why not? Mirror Shotting. This is actually insane. How much HP? 11 times 30? How much HP does this guy have max? Gets the coin flip as well. Damn. Exactly 90. We love to see that. Yeah, it's basically GG at this point. There's really nothing I could do because Indeedee is healing 20 HP. Each time Reuniclus is fed, gains 30 HP. So at the very least, healing 50 HP. I'm just kind of curious. So Reuniclus has 330 HP just from the ability. Okay, and then plus 90, 420, 420. Yeah, and continues to get bulkier and bulkier. Truly the most Pokemon of all time, yes. At this point, just to save everyone's time, why not? I'm just gonna concede. I usually don't like conceding, but at this point, it's literally a checkmate. Like, I really can't do anything. Actually, why not? I'm not gonna even attack. I'm just gonna end my turn. You have fun, man. You deserve it for running this deck. And again, most of the time, I feel like you're not gonna see this in ranked. Yeah, primarily because of Suicune Ninja and other cards that could easily counter Reuniclus. But at the same time, getting this to this point, I feel like this game is very fast-paced. And the only reason I pretty much lost was that I got pretty bad RNG. What are you doing, man? What is going on? You know what? You want me to fight back? Okay, sure. All right, I'm gonna zap. Just make it fast. This guy is really prolonging my suffering. Are we going to turn 30? Is that what's gonna happen? Okay, finally ending my suffering. Holy crap! At 250 HP. Yeah, dude, this guy is a freaking tanky beast. All right, next battle. Finally going first. Opponent using Chingling, which could disrupt us because we do have Pokeball, and I think the only item cards in this deck are Pokeballs and then 1 copy of red cards. So not really getting much value with Chingling. He's gonna Professor's Research. Next turn, I will Clemont, but hand-wise, this is not the worst. It's gonna end our turn. Our opponent attacks with Chingling, copycats as well, gets an amazing hand. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna play this somewhat aggressive. If my opponent does have a red card or Mars, it will definitely mess us up. I'm gonna feed this Magnemite. Indeedee does 60 damage, able to one-shot Magnemite even with Giant Cape. At this point, might as well Giant Cape or Oricorio. Being somewhat aggressive, taking that 1 point from Chingling. And just playing off of this. So, Chingling, next turn my opponent will most likely sub in Indeedee Ex. And I'm just gonna start chipping Indeedee at that point. And we have 1 copy of Oricorio, so late game, we can just have 1 copy of Oricorio, and depending on the stage of the game, depending on the cards my opponent has, can definitely end up as a tie. Our opponent attacks with Indeedee. Rest in peace, Magnemite. Also Rocky Helmets, but we do have Guzma to counteract that. I could red card my opponent, but ultimately that could actually help him out in the long run. So for now, I'm just gonna Clemont, getting our Magnemites in our hand. Evolve into Magneton. Very straightforward stuff. Just do this. Feed Oricorio. Next turn, we can start attacking. Why not? I'm just gonna do this, just in case my opponent does try to red card or Mars at this point, but that could very much help them because at this point, all they really need is our supporter cards, of course, as well as Mega Altaria EX. And I've had scenarios where I would get red carded and that would actually help me out in turn. So yes, next turn we can start attacking with Magnezone though. Does red card. See, I can feel that. I might have given that to him though. That's the thing. But we do get Magnezone. Perfect. Oricorio as well. Second copy and Guzma. All right, nice. That's actually pretty good luck, I'll be honest. All right, so evolve into Magnezone. Sub out of Oricorio, Guzma, and that Guzma was crucial because Mega Altaria max damage does 130. Here with Rocky Helmet 150, and Magnezone has, of course, 150 HP, so is attacking like this. Opponent will be forced to sub out, and at this point, all we need is a Cyrus. If he gets Cyrus, we win. Alright, yeah, opponent subs in, Mega Altaria, doing 130 damage. Also heals Indeedee up a bit, using both of their abilities. Pokeball, okay, that really doesn't do much in our scenario. But looking at the board, unless my opponent uses the non-EX Altaria, then we basically win. I'm gonna play this risky, why not? I feel like the smart choice is to sub out a Magnezone. That will take a couple turns, sure. I mean, also my opponent might have Cyrus, so it might not matter in the long run. But at this point, it's gonna mirror shot. Alright, opponent subs into Indeedee. Keep in mind, Magnezone's attack ability only applies to Mega Altaria EX. Alright, rather interesting. I probably should have also fed the other Oricorio with Giant Cape. I don't know why I fed this one. Might lose us the game, but you know what? We shall see. I mean, if anything, this Swablu isn't fed at all yet, so I can do that in a couple turns. How many cards do we have? We have 4 cards. Might as well copycat to generate more cards. Perfect, we got Giant Cape as well. So, not gonna do it now. I might do it later just in case my opponent does Guzma. And we're in the end game here. This is the end game. So, my opponent, they had to be running a copy of the non-EX. There's no way, right? Because there has to be an Oricorio counter to this deck. Does Mars? Okay. Magneton, Cyrus. Okay, we finally got Cyrus out. That is pretty rough. But at the same time, you never know. So, perfect. You got Giant Cape again. So, might as well at this point do this. Feed the back Oricorio. Just keep attacking this Indeedee. Very straightforward. Yeah, this is going to take quite a while. Keep in mind, each time I attack with Oricorio, I'm essentially doing 10 damage. This Indeedee heals 20. Oricorio does 50. So 50 minus 40. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm just going to time lapse the video and yeah, it's either I win or I lose. Or we tie. Or my opponent concedes, just like that. They're like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Okay, yeah, as you can see, Oricorio makes your opponent just go out, touch some grass, turn off the phone, and just like enjoy life. That's what this deck helps people enjoy life. Yeah. And yeah, that's the deck showcase. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Overall, this deck is rather consistent. I feel like the main issue is getting the cards that you need. But at the same time, I feel like that's just kind of universal for the game in general. Like, you could be using the most broken deck currently in the meta and just get a very bad starting hand, and your next turn still have a pretty bad hand. Following turn, same thing, that could happen. But that's pretty much the only issue. The other issue for this deck is that it doesn't really do much damage. For most EXs, most of the time you're going to be either 2-hit KOing, 3-hit KOing, and even 4-hit KOing, especially if your opponent is using a very tanky Mega EX. And in that case, if you guys do want to use a deck that does a bit more damage with the Magnezone, I don't know if I have the... I think I have the deck right here. Let me check it out. I think it's this one. Yeah. So this deck is somewhat similar without Oricorio, more so leading into a Darkness type archetype. Because keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, Magnezone essentially only requires 1 lightning energy. Because if you look at, of course, the attack requirements, only requires 1 energy, and of course, looking at Magneton generates easy lightning energy. So using this deck, using pure darkness, you can get a bit of value. There's also Mega Absolute EX, Darkrai EX, also Chingling. So if you want to use something with a bit more poke, then yeah, this is for you. There's also other variations using Magnezone. I did cover some of them on my weekly meta report. It should be, if you look at my channel, I have some weekly meta reports. Just check those out. I have timestamps in the description just for convenience. But yeah, overall, looking back at the Magnezone Oricorio deck, I'd rate it S-. Yeah, because I feel like the main issue is that it doesn't do much damage. And also, for one thing, Magnezone, it's a cool ability, attack ability, but it is RNG dependent. It has a 50% chance to do nothing. It has a 50% chance to succeed. And if you like coin flips, then this is the deck for you. It could definitely mess you up, but at the same time, could definitely help you out in the long run, as you can see from my previous battles. But yeah, overall, S-. And yeah, that is the video. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Really does help me out mentally and also with my channel growth. Really do appreciate it. And with that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.